Everything you need to know about melatonin. Sleep has become an increasingly troublesome issue for people over the past years, what with our endlessly whirring brains and blue light screens always by our sides. Though some people wish they didn't need to sleep at all, the circadian process of turning off and recharging for a full 8 hours is essential to our everyday lives, from our physical health to our moods, and even to our productivity, which is ironically why so many people struggle to get enough ZS in the first place. More and more, people are turning to melatonin supplements. You might have tried it already, or someone might have told you about it, but while it's easy to take, not many people know enough about it before popping them before bed. Click through to learn everything you need to know about the over-the-counter sleep aid, as well as some tips to help stimulate your natural production of melatonin. Why we need melatonin. Melatonin is a naturally occurring chemical in our body that regulates our circadian rhythm, prevents memory loss, helps keep our immune system strong and eyes healthy, recharges our energy, and improves cardiovascular and gut health, among other benefits. Synthetic melatonin is on the rise. After being introduced to the public in the 90s, both the need for melatonin and the accessibility of it have only increased. Increasing use. A 2022 study published in the medical journal JAMA found that by 2018 people in the US were taking more than twice the amount of melatonin they took a decade earlier, which likely only worsened amid the pandemic. Meant for short-term use. While short-term use for jet lag, shift workers, and people who have trouble falling asleep appears to be safe, the long-term safety of melatonin supplements is unknown, according to the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health, per CNN. Intended for small doses. The short-term treatment dosage is typically 5 mg a day at maximum, but the study found that a growing number of Americans are taking much more than that. Many also think taking more melatonin will make you more sleepy, but if it's not effective at the recommended dose, taking more reportedly won't make it more effective. It's not a herb. Because it's easily purchased over the counter, many people often mistake melatonin for a herbal supplement or vitamin, which is also what leads them to thinking it can't hurt since they believe it's natural. It's actually a hormone. Melatonin is actually a hormone made by the pineal gland, located in the middle of the brain, which gets released into the bloodstream to regulate the body's sleep cycle. How it's supposed to be used. Melatonin supplements have been found useful in inducing sleep when taken at least 2 hours before bed. Still, the effect has not been proven to be large, reducing the time it takes to fall asleep by less than 10 minutes on average. Used for sleep disorders. Melatonin is typically prescribed to treat sleep disorders, from having trouble falling asleep at night to being unable to stay asleep the whole night through. Children may be prescribed melatonin. Because melatonin is a hormone, children should only take it with a doctor's approval, and usually only in the cases of certain conditions that disrupt sleep like asthma, dermatitis, ADHD, and autism spectrum disorder, ASD. Lack of regulation in the U.S. Because melatonin is not fully regulated by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, pills for sale actually might contain higher levels of melatonin than advertised on the label. Lack of regulation in the U.S. Previous research has found that melatonin content in these unregulated, commercially available melatonin supplements ranged from 83% to plus 478% of the labeled content. Rebecca Robbins, instructor in the Division of Sleep Medicine for Harvard Medical School, told CNN. They may contain serotonin. Since the FDA doesn't require that companies test their products for harmful hidden additives, studies also found 26% of melatonin supplements contain serotonin, which can reportedly have harmful effects even at low levels. Melatonin comes from serotonin. Serotonin is the precursor to melatonin, and both are required in the right levels in order to have a good night's sleep, so it perhaps isn't shocking to find out melatonin supplements have serotonin, but it may backfire if it throws off your balance or reacts negatively with other medications. What happens with too much serotonin? If your melatonin contains serotonin and is combined with other medications with serotonin like antidepressants or migraine medications, you risk a serious drug reaction, with symptoms ranging from shivering and diarrhea to muscle rigidity, fever, seizures, and potentially death. Possible side effects of melatonin supplements. Melatonin supplements have been linked to headache, dizziness, nausea, stomach cramps, excessive drowsiness, irritability, mild anxiety, depression, vivid dreams, and changes in blood pressure. How to naturally stimulate melatonin production. First, we have to understand how our brains naturally produce melatonin. The body begins secreting melatonin when it gets dark. Of course, in these modern times we have artificial light all around us disturbing that process. Blue light is not your friend. Research has found that the body will slow or stop melatonin production if exposed to light, including the blue light from our smartphones, laptops, and such, so turn them off at least an hour before you want to fall asleep, and dim the lights at home. Cool down for bed. Melatonin production is also increased when the temperature drops, so keeping your bedroom at cooler temperatures of about 60 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 to 20 degrees Celsius, will help you fall asleep faster and hit all the essential sleep cycles. Establish a routine. Your circadian rhythm is just that, a rhythm that likes to be repeated. The better you get at waking up and going to bed at the same time, the easier the melatonin will flow. Get sun in the daytime. Because sunlight makes serotonin, which is the precursor to melatonin, your body needs to get enough natural light in order to better convert serotonin into the delicious sleep hormone at night. It's best to get sunlight in the morning to help your internal rhythm along. Eat foods with melatonin. Cherries. Researchers have found that tart cherries, also called Montmorency cherries, contain a significant amount of melatonin that helps you get to sleep quicker and stay asleep longer. Milk. A glass of warm milk has long been known as a sleep remedy, and for good reason. Milk is one of the best dietary sources of melatonin because it also contains the amino acid tryptophan, which increases concentrations of melatonin and serotonin and helps you drift off easier. Nuts. Nuts like pistachios, cashews, and almonds can increase melatonin levels in the body and enhance sleep. Pistachios are especially good for this because they're also high in vitamin B6, which helps convert tryptophan into melatonin. Fatty fish. Fatty fish like salmon and tuna are high in melatonin as well as in vitamin B6, omega-3 fatty acid, magnesium, and vitamin D, all of which are essential to regulating serotonin and promoting healthy sleep. Goji berries. Considered by many to be a superfood, these berries originally native to China are great sources of natural melatonin, and they're also rich in antioxidants, protein, and fiber. Oats. Whole oats are a great source of melatonin, as well as tryptophan, and they're also rich in B vitamins, fiber, and other minerals to keep up your overall health. Bananas. Bananas contain melatonin, tryptophan, vitamin B6, and magnesium, which all do wonders for sleep. Many people also swear by boiling bananas, with the skins, to make a sleep aid tea since the peel contains potassium and magnesium, which are both natural muscle relaxants. Cut out caffeine. Melatonin secretion is controlled by neurotransmitters which researchers have found are negatively affected by caffeine, so cutting out the coffee, at least in the afternoon, could help get your sleep back. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel SDK Online Stroke Awareness.